What is going on, you guys, and welcome back to another video in the Street Build series, where today we're going to be covering the Nissan 350Z. So firstly, let's quickly do an overview of what you get with the Nissan 350Z. Produced from the years 2003 to 2008, also named the Fairlady Z or Z33, the Nissan 350Z shipped with 301 horsepower for the manual version and a little less than the automatic with 287 horsepower. Having a rear-wheel drivetrain, the manual 6-speed, and a 3.5-liter 6-cylinder engine, it is no wonder that this car was so popular and still is to this day. With that being said though, let's get into the build. Now, I think that these are some pretty sick looking wheels, and they are the Aodhan DS07 in a 19 by 9.5, which while still wide will be beneficial for when we're packing on some more power in the future. Now let's go ahead and wrap these in the Continental Extreme Contact DWS 06 Plus, and these are a 255 by 40 ZR19, which is also good for when we're going to be wanting to put down some more power and not losing grip. Every good build needs some coilovers. This will slam this thing to the ground and help us with cornering and overall just improve the look of the car as well. This is going to be accomplished with the BC Racing BR Series coilovers. I always think that they're a safe bet, and they're pretty affordable too. Now, this is going to seem weird, but the first performance mod that we are going to talk about is a turbo kit. And that is because I just think it's going to provide a good baseline for us, and then we can fill in whatever gaps we need that's not provided within the turbo kit, and also take note of different supporting mods that we are going to have to add on as well. Now, this turbo kit comes from JWT and their 350Z/G35 twin turbo kit. This is really cool because they have it set up really nicely that really it's just different turbos that make the difference for your horsepower numbers. So this kit can handle 400 wheel horsepower or more than 800 wheel horsepower, so it can accomplish whatever goal you would like. Obviously, you just have to supplement things like more fueling and also different supporting mods if you're trying to push more horsepower. For the sake of this build though, as you can see from the title, we're just going to be centering this build around a horsepower figure of 500, but I am sure that some of this information holds true for higher horsepower numbers as well. It doesn't seem to explicitly say anywhere what this kit comes with, but from what I can see, you get an intercooler piping, a manifold, 530BB turbos, boost gauge, and an intake, and also included in this kit is some fueling gear, which is great so that we don't have to purchase them somewhere else. And we also know that this setup has already been tested with this turbo kit, and this includes a fuel pump and a new fuel management system. So there's not really that many parts, which is why I think it's good to cover the turbo kit first, so that way we can add all the other supporting mods and peace of mind parts for this build. Also, a nice thing about this kit is that JWT have a really good manual, and that covers everything that you would need to complete this kit for your car, and it's super detailed. Now, while we're still talking about fueling, it's good for us to upgrade the injectors to ensure that we can push all the fuel to the engine that it could ever desire. This comes with the addition of the Fuel Injector Clinic 1000cc injector set. Now, this next mod, I don't think it's going to be required to hit our goal, but I always think that it's a cool addition to any build, which helps the engine run colder and can be better overall for your car, and that is, as I'm sure some of you have guessed, an E85 flex fuel sensor from Haltech. Now, we're going to need a tuner at some point, so since we are choosing the flex fuel sensor from Haltech, it's only right that we choose their ECU too. This is a little bit on the pricey side, but I do think that it's going to be worth it in the future as they make amazing ECUs, and it'll be easier when upgrades are made in the future and to get retuned and just monitor everything in general with the car. Now, one small piece that we cannot forget to upgrade is the spark plugs, and that is going to be done simply with the NGK one-step colder spark plugs, which should be great for our added boost to this car and the flex fuel kit. Since the stock 350Z engine can only handle about 400 wheel horsepower unreliably, I think that it is safe to get the Waseco piston equal connecting rod combo kit, and that is usually the weak spot for these engines, and this should ensure that once we start building boost for this car, we're not going to shoot a piston to the moon. We're starting to come close to the end here, but first we do need an upgraded clutch to help put our new power down, and for that we are entrusting Z1 and their clutch and flywheel kit, as I think they're just super knowledgeable in the VQ game. Our last and final mod that we are going to go with, and I haven't forgotten about, is the exhaust. I think it's easy, just slap a Tomei on this thing and call it a day, but after listening to some different exhaust clips, I've found the NVIDIA N1 exhaust gives this car a really great sporty sound without being too obnoxious, so give it a listen. I think we can all agree that sounds pretty great. But with all that being said, the street build is finished. Thank you all for joining along the journey today, and I think that this should really spice up the 350Z a bit and have a good horsepower level, which is perfect for driving on the street, but can also have some fun times on the track or just some back roads. As we said before, this turbo kit makes it really easy to upgrade to higher horsepower levels in the future, so for those of you who want to make some more power, it's as simple as just upgrading the turbo and just making sure that these supporting mods can also handle this increased boost. As you know, I try to get one of these street build videos out every single Sunday, so make sure you look out for those, and drop a comment down below if there's anything that you loved, hated, or would change about this build. If you have any ideas for cars too that you would like to see for different street builds, make sure you drop that down in the comments too. Thank you guys all for watching this video and supporting the channel, and we'll see you in the next one.